Well, good afternoon from southern Idaho, Alpine fifth wheel guy here, and today we're going to run both AC units with the air compressors on using our two Honda 2000 gen sets to exercise these air conditioning units, since we didn't get to make our usual May trip to Yellowstone. And so we've cranked up the Zone 1, which on my floor plan is the living room. It's a Dometic Brisk Air 2 unit, combo heat pump, and we've had it running a few minutes. And the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to do a quick check on both of the return filters, and that's these right here. You have one here and one here. We'll zoom in on it. That's the return vent, and these are the outlet ducts. As you can see overhead, your return ducts may look a little different depending on the year of your Alpine. This is a 2014 3010 RE that we've had now going on its 12th year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of paper right up next to that return grill, and what I expect to see is that there's suction there that will draw that paper right to it. And here you can see the piece of paper being held right up to the return duct, and we'll take it off so that you can see I'm not taping it or anything. And then we're just going to put it right up there, and you noticed how the pull suction from the air conditioning unit fan pull that piece of paper right up there. So that tells me that overall this side of the duct is good, it's not collapsed, and we'll go to the other side and do the same check. So here we are on the opposite side, and we're just going to put that piece of paper up there, and as you can see, the suction pulls it right up. So it tells me that both of the return ducts on this Zone 1 AC unit are not collapsed. They're drawing good, fresh air from the inside back up and exhausting it out the top. And so that means that the air compressor unit is getting a good airflow from the return ducts. Another test I like to do, and we'll just put a little liquid smoke up in the air and see if these return ducts draw that up and through there. We know that it will. And you can see that smoke dissipated rather rapidly right up inside the return duct. And we'll come over to the other return duct. There's the smoke. And you can see how quick it drew all that smoke up in there. That's what we expect to see. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to check the return air temperature versus the overhead duct output air temperature, and we're going to expect to see somewhere in the neighborhood of 18 to 22 degrees difference between the return temperature and the overhead duct output temperature. So you can see right now we show 72 degrees on the return duct inside. Again, the AC's been running maybe 3 or 4 minutes. And now we're going to measure what the actual temperature is coming out of one of these overhead ducts. And what I'm using for my temperature measurements is my simple meat probe that I use on my Traeger grill. I don't have one of those fancy IR guns. Quite frankly, I'm not impressed with them. And if you try to use an IR gun and make measurements on your AC outputs, you're going to get erroneous readings. So I would use something besides an IR gun. But anyways, we're using a Traeger meat probe. We've had it stuck up there for a couple of minutes, and you saw the temperature at the return grill was about 72 degrees, and you can see the temperature on the overhead duct, just one of them, is 45 degrees. So if you do the math in your head real quick, I can think you'll see that that's what is that? Since I'm an old fart, I had to pause the camera for a minute and really think about that. But that looks to me like about 27 degrees differential between the return air and the output duct air. So we had 72 at the return and 45 coming out of the overhead duct on the Brisk Air 2 unit that's now 12 years old. So I would say that unit's working very good. And what we're going to do now is we're going to let this one run for a little bit, and then we're going to fire up Zone 2, which is my bedroom unit. And it is a Dometic Penguin 2 13.5K BTU AC unit only. And actually, before we look at the Zone 2 AC unit, the overhead ducts on these Alpines, the older ones use a racetrack system. The newer ones use a similar racetrack system, meaning that both overhead units, AC units, are connected together. And so the air that's coming out of Zone 1, which is in my living room, is blowing in all these living room output ducts. Plus, if we walk up into the bedroom AC is turned off, but we have airflow coming out of this duct. And so we're going to do a quick measurement check and see what the air temperature is coming out of the bedroom duct. And so right now we're reading 48 degrees coming out of the bedroom, and we're only running the Zone 1 AC unit, which is out in the living room. So that tells me that not only is the unit working real good out in the living room, but all that duct work from the living room AC up here to the bedroom AC is working very well. Okay, we're in the bedroom and we've cranked up the Zone 2 AC unit. First thing we're going to do is come over here to this return duct. We're going to put a piece of paper up here and see if it holds it up here like it did on the Zone 1. As you can see, it does, and it does there, so that tells me we've got good suction on that return duct on Zone 2. We'll come over here to the other return duct, put that piece of paper up, and as you can see, the paper is holding up. That means we've got good draw from this return duct here and that return duct here up to here in the middle, which is about where that AC unit sits at on the roof. And we'll put a little liquid smoke in the air like we did in on the Zone 1 AC out in the living room, just so you can see how it draws it up. And you can see it, suction draws it right up. So it's safe to say that both the return ducts across here up to the Zone 2 bedroom AC unit are all nice and open and working like they should. Okay, so here we are again with my fancy expensive temperature probe that I use on my Traeger. And we've just got the probe stuck right up into one of the return grills. And let's take a look at the return grill temperature. And again, we're showing about 72 degrees. And we're going to switch that probe over to one of the output ducts and see what the temperature there again is. And again, we are going to expect to see 18 to 22 degrees difference between the return and the output duct temperature here in the bedroom. Okay, you can see that I have the barbecue probe stuck up in one of the overhead outlets in the bedroom. And let's take a look and see what that temperature is. And we're showing 46 degrees versus the 72 on the return. So what is that? About 26 degrees difference between the return grill and the output grill. So that tells me that the 12-year-old Penguin 2 AC unit is working very good. Okay, so we're still running the Zone 2 AC unit only. And again, we're running off a Honda 2000 generators, and we've moved the probe that we were using here in the bedroom and we've taken it all the way back out to the living room to the farthest overhead duct, which is right there. And what we're going to do is take a look and see what that temperature reads, because we're actually getting air coming from just the bedroom AC. Again, the living room Zone 1 AC unit is turned off, so the only air that's coming out this duct, and I'm climbing up on a step stool trying not to bust my butt, and I'll show you that there's actually airflow. And you can see that smoke being dissipated. So that shows that we're actually blowing cold air out of here. Some people might think I'm trying to make a fake video. So let's take a look at that air temperature coming out of the very farthest duct away from that Zone 2 AC unit that's running in the bedroom. And as you can see with my shadow here, we've got 57 degrees. And again, that's drawing from inside on the zone 2 AC unit and blowing all the way from at the front of the fifth wheel all the way to the back here. So 57 degrees of cold air off a 13.5 kBTU AC unit blowing through all these ductworks. I'm pretty impressed after 12 years that both the Dometic ACs are working as good as they are. So hopefully the video makes a little sense to you. It's a quick, easy way if you want to see, if your return ducts are working, get a piece of paper, put it up there on those ducts just like you saw me do. And if the paper won't stick, you've either got dirty air filters, or you've got a collapsed ductwork, or you've got bees or something that have gotten down in from the top or something and built a nest up in there, so you'll have to further investigate. Well, there you go. There's the Alpine guy. We're going to let these AC units run, and that just shows you. I hear people complaining that they can't cool their fifth wheels down, and I guess I'm just lucky. Of course, this is only, this is a 3010 RE. It's the smallest. It's the baby Alpine at 34 feet. And we have a 15K BTU heat pump for zone 1, a 13.5K AC unit for zone 2 up in the bedroom. And between those two, we've stayed in 100-degree weather, and with the shades all pulled down, the overhead fan running, we can keep the inside of this fifth wheel right around 70 degrees, sometimes 69, 68 degrees. If it's 95 to 100, we can actually get the inside temp down to about 68 degrees. That's how your AC unit should work if you've done your work on your overhead ducts and everything else. Well, there you go. We'll wrap it up, and we'll put this up on the YouTube channel, and maybe it'll be meaningful to somebody out there. And as a wrap up on this, we're running with zone 2 AC only, and we're going to check the inside temp, and we're reading 72 degrees off the remote temp sensor, which for zone 2, which is our bedroom, the remote temp sensor is located right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to close the door up on the fifth wheel. The shades are down, the slides are open, and it's about 90 degrees out now. And and the sun is out bright, and so we're going to let that AC unit run for about 30 minutes and come back in and see how much it's been able to cool down using just the bedroom AC only. Well, it's about 97 degrees outside right now, and we're running just the zone 1 AC set to 69 degrees. And let's see what the temperature shows on the remote temp sensor out in zone 1. So it shows 73 degrees is what we're maintaining, and we're only running 1 AC because we're running with two Honda 2000 generators. So there you go. 12-year-old AC units still doing the job very nicely.